This video idea has been in my head for a minute because the more I think about Steph Curry's career, the more it feels like he's lived on both extremes of luck. Like one season, the basketball gods are handing him a gift wrapped championship path, and the next season, they're taking away everything that could have helped him. That's the Stephen Curry paradox. He might be the luckiest superstar ever and the unluckiest, depending on what part of his career you're looking at. And what's funny is, after I had this idea, I ended up doing a Warriors rebuild video trying to get Steph his fifth ring, basically cleaning up the mess Mike Dunleavy left behind. In that rebuild, I wasn't being sentimental. I wasn't doing the whole we can't trade Draymond because of nostalgia thing. I was making the necessary moves, even if it meant trading younger prospects to bring in win now vets, because that's what you have to do if you're actually serious about maximizing Steph's championship window. And the whole time I'm doing it, I'm thinking, yeah, this is exactly why this paradox video matters. Steph's real career is the perfect mix of being blessed at the perfect times and cursed at the worst times. Steph might be the luckiest NBA superstar of all time, and at the exact same time, he might be the unluckiest. Now, before y'all get in the comments ready to fight me, I'm exaggerating a little bit on purpose. I'm not saying Steph literally has the most luck ever in human history. I'm saying his career has been on both extremes of luck, like almost nobody else. I also wanted to say that just for a clickbaity type of headline and title, so y'all would click the video, so hopefully it worked. Steph has had moments where everything broke perfectly, and then he's had moments where it felt like the universe was actively plotting on him. So today, we're breaking down the Stephen Curry paradox, how Steph got some of the craziest breaks ever, and also got hit with some of the nastiest bad breaks ever, all in one career. And with that said, let's start with the lucky side first, because when you put it in order, it honestly feels like the Warriors were running a cheat code early on. Steph's first big break was the Warriors didn't just build a contender, they built a contender in the most financially broken way possible. Steph, Klay, and Draymond became the most perfect homegrown trio ever, and early on, none of them were costing max money. So Golden State had this rare situation where they got superstar impact without superstar salary, and because of that, they could load the roster with high-level role players like Andre Iguodala, Andrew Bogut, Sean Livingston, and a bench full of guys that fit perfectly. And if you need a modern example of what I mean, think about OKC in 2025. That team is a similar cheat code situation, young stars, elite depth, everybody still on manageable deals, so the roster feels unfair because the money hasn't caught up to the talent yet. That's what the early Warriors felt like. Like the league was letting them run around with a squad they shouldn't financially be able to have. Now we go to 2015 because this is the first championship that really set the dynasty tone. The Cavs lose Kevin Love, then Kyrie gets hurt in the finals, and suddenly the series turns into LeBron versus a full Warriors system. Now I'm not saying Golden State couldn't win if the Cavs were healthy, but we're being honest. That was a huge break. Every championship team gets some luck at some point, and 2015 was one of the biggest things broke perfectly moments of Steph's career. Now here comes the big one. Steph was playing like a top 2 player in the league, but he wasn't being paid like one yet. So Golden State was basically running the league with an MVP on a contract that didn't match MVP value. And that contract structure is what made 2016 free agency possible. Because normally a team that just won 73 games should not be able to add Kevin Durant. That's not supposed to be allowed, but the Warriors didn't recruit KD. They opened a portal. Steph's money situation made the KD signing possible, and that is the definition of a cheat code. Now we get to 2017, and this one people don't love talking about, but we're doing the full story today. The Spurs looked like the one team that had the formula. They were up big in game 1. Kawhi was cooking, and then Kawhi goes down. And once Kawhi went down, that series basically ended right there. Golden State didn't just win, they cruised. And now we get to 2018. This is one of the weirdest games in modern NBA history. Houston, in a game 7, in the biggest moment of their season, went unbelievably cold from 3. Now yes, defense matters and fatigue matters, but at a certain point, it started to feel unreal. And Steph got spared from a timeline where Harden knocks them out and the entire narrative flips. So if you stop Steph's story right here, it looks like he's the chosen one. But now we gotta talk about the other side, because the same career has some brutal bad breaks too. 2016 is the moment that haunts Steph's whole legacy, because losing a 3-1 lead doesn't just lose you a ring, it changes how people talk about you forever. And what makes it worse is it wasn't just a simple "they choked." That run had a whole list of chaos stacked together. Steph dealing with the MCL earlier in the playoffs, Draymond suspended for Game 5, Bogut gets hurt and the rim protection disappears, Iguodala dealing with back issues, Harrison Barnes couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat, and LeBron plus Kyrie went into superhero mode. That's not one bad break, that's like 5 bad breaks in a row. It is why 2016 is the cursed fork in the road, because if Steph wins in 2016, the entire rest of NBA history changes. Now let's talk 2019. This one is the true pain year, honestly. KD goes down, the Warriors are still fighting, and then Klay goes down in the finals. So now Steph is basically trying to win the finals with one real scoring threat, himself. That year didn't just cost them a ring, it cost them the dynasty timeline. Because if Klay stays healthy, there's a real chance they pull that one out against the Raptors. Instead, injuries ended the run. Not a rival team, not a scheme, not a matchup. Injuries. Klay missing years wasn't just, damn, tough. It honestly broke the Warriors' identity. Peak Klay Thompson gave you elite spacing, elite off-ball scoring, and elite wing defense. And when he was gone, Steph didn't just lose help, he lost the entire system's balance. Now teams could trap Steph with less fear, Steph had to create more on ball, and now that offense becomes heavier and harder, and doesn't look like the true Golden State Warriors offense that was just unfair to the rest of the league. And that's why Steph had to spend his 30s carrying again. This is the ultimate both sides piece. Draymond is Steph's greatest cheat code and also his biggest curse, because Dre helped Steph win titles, yeah, but Dre also played a major role in KD wanting out, punched Jordan Poole and nuked team chemistry that year, created constant chaos with suspensions and distractions, and Golden State has been reluctant to fully move on when it's been time. So Steph is stuck in this weird loop where Draymond helps you reach the top for sure, but then keeps you from evolving once the run starts ending. After the 2022 championship run that everybody loves from the Warriors, Steph still proved he had it and still proved that the Warriors could be in an actual win now timeline while younger teams were ascending and becoming contenders in their own rights. But the Warriors tried to do something impossible. Continue winning now while also building for the future, building for the post-Steph Curry timeline. That's the whole James Wiseman era. They drafted him, didn't develop him correctly, didn't move him at the right time, and he didn't fit Steve Kerr's system at all. Then Jonathan Kuminga actually shows real upside, and it feels like they never fully unlocked him or fully committed to him as the future. So Steph had seasons where he's still playing like a top 5 player in the league, but the roster is split between help Steph today and maybe this guy helps Steph in 2028. That's wasting years when your franchise player is still really fucking good. The Warriors have needed one thing for a while. A second scorer who can go get a bucket, especially when teams trap Steph and Curry all game. And there were opportunities. Pascal Siakam, Lowry Markkanen rumors, other moves that could have changed the ceiling for this team, but Golden State kept trying to patch it instead of landing the type of second scorer that Steph actually needed. So Steph continued to remain elite, but the roster was never truly terrifying again like it was in those peak Golden State days. And then finally, this season might be the perfect example of Steph's bad timing, because it's like the Warriors finally did the right thing we've been begging them to do. Last season, they go out and add a capable number 2 scoring option in Jimmy Butler, and now, yes, I know it's late and Jimmy is older, but still, Jimmy is one of the few guys in the league who can actually create attack downhill, and take pressure off of Steph, while being a very high IQ guy on the defensive side of the ball. And you start seeing it. The Warriors start turning it around after that rough patch earlier on this season. They go on a run, a 4-game win streak, and they're like 12-4 over their last 16 games. It finally looks like, okay, Golden State might actually be a problem again. And then boom, Jimmy gets a season-ending injury, and you're thinking, all right, Steph just can't catch a break. But maybe the young guys finally get consistent minutes and the Warriors can survive. Kuminga finally gets a real chance to get consistent run after constant DNPs for the majority of this season. And then he gets injured too. Like, can it get any worse? The second the Warriors finally look like they found the formula again, the universe snatches it right back. That is Steph Curry's career in a sentence. So the real truth is this. Steph Curry's career proves that luck doesn't replace greatness, but greatness always interacts with luck. Steph got breaks that helped build the dynasty, and Steph got breaks that stopped the dynasty from lasting even longer. And what makes it crazy is the same things that helped him also hurt him. Steph didn't just win with luck, he survived the consequences of it. But here's the part that makes the story interesting right now. The story might not be done flipping, because the Warriors are getting linked to a potential Giannis trade, and I'm not going to lie, that's one of the first times in a while where it feels like Steph's luck could swing back to the good side again. If Golden State actually pulls off something that big, that's not just help, that's a total timeline change. That's the type of move that instantly puts Steph back in the ring conversation, and it's the exact kind of basketball gods are smiling again type of moment we've seen happen in his career before. Now obviously trades like this don't come cheap. You're talking picks, young players, probably multiple pieces, and regarding the pick situation, there's probably going to be a lot more pick swaps for Golden State giving out, so that kind of makes it harder for them to build a appeasing package for Milwaukee. But again, the Warriors are linked to Giannis, so anything is possible right now. This is a real win now, no looking back type of swing, potential swing. But if you're serious about maximizing Steph's window, that's the kind of move you at least have to consider. And honestly, with how Steph's career works, it would be so on brand if after all the bad breaks these past 4 or 5 years, the Warriors stumble into one more massive luck shift that gives him a real chance at ring number 5. So now I'm curious what y'all think. When you look at Steph Curry's career as a whole, do you feel like he's been more lucky or more unlucky? Drop your answer in the comments section. Thank y'all for watching. Like, subscribe, and I will catch y'all on the next one.